media platform and the COO for FedEx, Mr. Ahmed Al Zaini. Now the sector has multi-use. However, the entrepreneur has changed the industry, and also it's created an experience that's better in enhancing the communication with the client in general. We'd like to know more from my guest about it. Mr. Abdullah, good evening. I would like to start with you with your look at media and the importance of dealing with it. Um, at the beginning, we'd like to thank the organizers of the Saudi Media Forum, and actually, it's honoring. We have followed so many meetings, and they took us in a tour. This is something interesting, especially at the business. If you are away from media, you will be away from everything, from your client, from your audience, and the companies that can cooperate with you. So, this is something obligatory and it's not a luxury. You should have communication with the client and you have to be careful. I remember that one day, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Bentley, he was my boss at the mail. He said, media is like a fire. If you stay away, far from it, you will feel cold. And if you come too close, you will burn. And social media, you comment about Jahez. What's the idea? It's a personal experience you learn by time, and of course, you should have some downs here or there. Of course, there's no one that hasn't faced difficulties. However, it has to be in a certain sense, especially with the social media. It's highly important, but you don't take it as a rigid thing. It's not a device that presents the news officially in a clear language. It's you. You try to communicate it and you talk with your own language, with your own touch. Communicate, and I believe that, and I believe that most important uh, famous is to have feedback. Don't present an information or content and wait for the reactions. Someone who asked the praised, answer. If you don't answer, it means that this is one side and there will be no reaction, and it will have a negative impact, not positive one. Talk and provide correct content. At least if you can't answer all, either answer with a questions or a group of them, and make sure that you don't answer for only those who have a sign. Answer for all. I'd like to ask about your opinion about using the media messages for you, Ahmed, and for Fodex as well. If there is a hand mic, or just be ready for us. Hello, everyone, and thank you for honoring us. Definitely, it's one of the channels that is presented by any entrepreneur our project to success. And if we start from the beginning, the success of any company is the is one is trying to establish their company, and we can see all the brands and international projects. They are not only passed because they used the communication at the right way in order to reach and spread the message and the problem. We have a product, the real problem that you built your project, and also benefit from the social media in communications. The main thing is not the target that you practice as much as with your personal and true belief about the issue, and you're being always keen to solve it. The impact will reach to the society in the image that you established your company about it. I'd like to ask Ahmed in more, and I'd like to know your policies at the issue of communicating with media. Are there any percentage, or we say that here is more? And we know your activity as a COO, and as well as to have so specialized conferences. Why I would like to be here at the beginning of the philosophy of the concept of philosophy. When I established the company, it wasn't as trendy, and as the appetite wasn't as much. I used to count on the feeling of the founder. How can I transfer the issue and the sector I'm serving to the target audience, which is the owner of the restaurant? The sustainability of the sector is one of the most important problems. How the restaurant owner is sustainable, and we reduce the business closure or closed projects in the sectors. Starting from the establishment, this is the mission, and we are trying to increase our solutions to accelerate the solving this issue. When we started employing a CMO, it was totally different. How to use social media from one work to another, it's totally different. And even the content, and also we can divide the target audience at scale, that you depend as a strategy of marketing or communication on communication with your clients. They are more than channels. You have the investors, the community, the sector, and also you have targeting the talents, and also the clients themselves, the regulations as well as. We are a company that is licensed by the central bank. We should have a certain channel of communication targeting all the channels. We have 26 uh, marketing campaign on different platforms on spot, and we try to deal with every channel as an ROI or a certain investment cost, so we know exactly what's the way of investing and what's the suitable content. I'd like to know about the creative economy now, and how uh, the creativity could be part of it. I'd like to know your philosophy in the media, and how you can have a product that is capable for commercial, I'd like to know your opinion about it. When we talk about economy of creativity and creativity in economy, of course, with every time and every era, something new has to be coming up, something unusual, something different for the best. It should not be cut off in a certain time. If we met 150 years ago, we would talk about something new. This is highly important. I'd say that entrepreneurs always they have to have something different. Don't do something that the other people are doing and then you will be successful. Of course, it's all in the hands of Allah. However, always do something different, and it's not necessarily that you change the whole issue, but to do something that is novel. I wanted to tell a story. One day, one of the workers at the ketchup industry, the company was very high profit, and then the sales went down. They started thinking, how can we introduce or develop our product, maybe the marketing message. One of the creator, he invented the ketchup that it's upside down. This invention has re um, innovated their sales to something very high. I have a philosophy that don't try to be extraordinary. I remember at the beginning of Jahez, some of the advertisement companies they suggested that they run the Jahez at social media, among of which Twitter, Instagram. They had a comparison between Jahez and 4 or 5 companies, and you see here the photo is always symmetric, and you make sure that the word is always specified. After the presentation is done, what we are trying to do is totally different. We are trying to show what happened. And in Jahez, from the beginning, when anyone talked to Jahez, and they talk to Jahez, yeah, they call it, oh Jahez, do this, oh Jahez, do that. And sometimes, if we have a tweet, it has grammar mistakes. It's not a big deal. No, we manage it. Sometimes we joke with the clients, we communicate with them in a way or another. I remember one of the stories. One day we have launched an advertisement, and they had a reaction, positive reaction from one society. I was so scared at the night in order not to be amplified, and then I had a download and I said that I'm Khalid, an employee at Jahez, and today is my last day, and I present a draw for 20,000 riyals. All of them they forgot about the tweets, and they remember that I am Khalid. And the CEO called me and he says, someone has taken or the Twitter, what's happening? He's exiting. He said, don't worry, I am Khalid. And then there is a story and the withdraw, and they started to ask Khalid that he will stay in the company. So we convinced Khalid to stay and not to leave. To deal with people simply. I remember that very famous as a football star communicated with Jahez, and he's angry because the food is late, and I And privately, I responded to him. And when the problem is solved and he was satisfied, I didn't know him personally. After 1 month, I met him personally, and he said that one with with a client service, you should give him a reward. What we say is that the entrepreneur from the first day that I want to hire a marketing manager and manager of content, we have the content manager appoint, but you always have to be inside the content. The character of the entrepreneur, it should be reflected in the content. It has to be you. This communication, social media, those who see us on Twitter and come to the office or visit the office, they see the same identity. Mr. Ahmed, you are one of the entrepreneurs that you are existing in this for so long, and of course, you must have faced so many creative ideas in different fields, especially in the media film using the social media. I'd like to know about the creative economy and also the social media that we use it for those who look for it. Of course, today, since we launched, we communicated with the mass communication for all the clients, especially the challenge that we are facing, that we are not in Saudi Arabia. We have Egypt, we have another language, in Emirates we have English. You don't think that it's an Arab country at the first place. Al Kuwait, everyone, you have to talk to them in their personalization, with their accent, with the jokes and the spirits that approved by the society there. Of course, I'm very proud, and I see a lot of companies are following these steps. That we have launched the first version of Boundless, which is the first event for launching annual annual products of the company, and it's now annual. The idea that I was watching one of the launches launched by Apple, and I say, you know what? Why don't we do the same? I called the marketing manager and I say that you have 2 months. We need the launch to be ready, and we have launched the first version of Boundless, which is a movie, and we asked people that visit the cinema. It was AMC at CAF, the first version, and we have distributed popcorn. And you say, let's communicate and reach out. How the product launching? How was this experience in launching and impact? Of course, it was very non-traditional, and it was the word of mouth extended to after the conference in month. The word was curious enough to know that this product, how to activate it. And the second version that we have done in movie cinema at the Boulevard, of course, it was a cinema, a movie that we shot in a more creative way. And now we found that we have elevated one of the investors. They say that, thank you, Ahmed. I've just exit one movie for one of my other companies. I highly respect it. You are, and this is raising the elevation. We want a more creative idea, and this year we will do something extremely important. Social media, a lot they have reached. What is upcoming? What's the future? There's a new generation in Twitter, the X, the communities. Usually they don't write. There's a new behavior. I'd like to read in this, and what are the other spaces. We are going far and so many directions, and no one will understand what will happen a year from now. And let's talk about what's existing here. And we mentioned Twitter before. If you are an entrepreneur or in a company, you have to differentiate between one platform and other platform. The message has to be different. The listeners, your clients in TikTok are different from Twitter. You have to, when you be officially talking on official tone, you should not be have official tone there. Even when you talk about investors, you may should consider other investors or other clients who might be potential, but they are still their work as a shorter place, a short space. We see that a lot of the influencers, they started as influencers and then they become entrepreneurs. They invested. The entrepreneurs, of course, you should invest some of your time in order to become an influencer, because your influencer will help in the success if you work. You have an important role when the company, no matter how is it existing on the social media, as the name of the company, people also look for the name of the person. And of course, with different scale, Elon Musk, he is million of the million, and despite that, at least he have 20 tweets, and he said that I hope that people will not misunderstand me. His companies are working because he is Elon Musk, and not the opposite, and not vice versa. When you are an entrepreneur, make sure that you are existing, and also that Elon Musk doesn't do it, that you are keep on talking about your company and that you are trying to sell it. They will hate you. But when you are a normal people, and once you talk about Hilal, and one about the desert, camping, and one about Hail, and one about the weather, mentioning the yesterday, I was highly happy for Al Ta'awun who won. They deserve. They have excelled. And then I made them in. I commended them in some of the ex tweets, and then they say that I will leave Al Ta'awun and join Jahi's team. Mr. Ahmed, we would like to talk about your personal user as Ahmed and being an entrepreneur, and your name is known in FedEx internationally and globally. How do you deal with it as a personal or? I feel that there is a personal accountability or responsibility, because I see the excuses. I had it over 10 years previously. So many excuses that the project will fail, the obstacles are more, and today the project, when it was 10 years ago, you can fix it in a phone. So I feel that this is personal responsibility, away from FedEx, all the expenses. How can I influence and be there and specify part of my time to participate in some readings and analysis? It's really difficult and high, and you are way better than I am. I'm trying to allocate sometimes for Twitter because most of my time is in LinkedIn. I'm highly active in LinkedIn and I read mostly at LinkedIn. I try to be at X and Twitter. This is the idea. You tweet and we will retweet for you. I and Abu Abdullah. We only left with 5 minutes. I'd like to know or direct. Let's say that we have headlines for the future of entrepreneur in media. So many entrepreneurs they are using technology, AI, and the new technological tools. I'd like to know if there are a clear frame where to go in this world. Of course, it's hard to say it in 5 minutes. However, let's say it in general. Entrepreneur in general, I don't believe, and I'm sure that the chance is highly available in the kingdom. Unlimited support, and people they are now used for dealing with entrepreneurs. Few years ago, and I think that FedEx have suffered a lot. That you should have an international brand, and they say that where is NCR? Where are these? This is a global name. How do you compete with it? Nowadays, people have accepted and they are dealing with entrepreneur, and they know that Saudi companies are even stronger and more enforced than international, and they have proved that they are better than international companies. When we talk about media, let's take a step behind. 15 years ago, it was impossible to see a Saudi company that works in marketing. And the oldest company is 11, and it's rarely you see a Saudi employee that works in a company for marketing. Today, when you see non Saudi companies, you get surprised if you have a company from any Arab or international nationalities because they have working hard on marketing, especially that it needs techniques. It started in the last years, and of course that it's a huge place because the market is huge, and those who are in the media, it's not wrong that you go and you are not aware about the work 100%. There are so many techniques that requires time and requires experience, but if you have a certain thing, launch and enhance yourself, and it's called trial and error. Try, fix the error, try, fix the error, and frequently. And I know that as the Saudi companies, and especially of them, they are youth. I believe that the media companies will be taken over by the Saudi companies, and of course the entrepreneurship, the in the media. How do you the advice for those who want to invest and build entrepreneurial media using technology and the current tools? I believe that, as Abdullah said, the chances are there, and any business successful if they has chances and it has talent and determination. Most of the international conferences that the witnessed by the era, we are a very fertile area. Determination, communication that Saudi youth take a step in it. It has a high chance. I see that there are companies I have invested personally in certain fields. Saudi people and social community, crowd management, or social grounding, all of these, there are high chances, and we can observe it when we talk about Snapchat. Is Saudi second largest market after America, TikTok, digital, Jack, and all of them. And most important is to have conferences like this where you can acquire investors or talents that will participate the goal or the mission you are trying to do. I think that there are no excuses, and all what you need is to have you can fulfill it. Thank you for the founder and CEO of Fodex, and also for Jahez. Thank you for the guests.